Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This time around we are checking out something new from the FightstickAsia team. It is a prototype of a premium case they've been working on over the last couple of months, and I'm glad to be able to give it a first look. Now, with that said, nothing official, there's no release date, there's no specific specs that I can kind of give you guys just because it is a work in progress. So I'm just going to go over what we have now. I would really appreciate, and the FightstickAsia team would appreciate, if you leave comments below and kind of give some feedback based on what you guys see today. Alright, so let's go check it out. So the first thing I want to highlight is the material of the case. It's this heavy duty metal that kind of wraps around and makes up most of the frame. So you'll see these rubber feet on the back, some really cool angles over here. Right, and overall this thing weighs about 17 pounds. It's probably the heaviest metal case that I've ever owned and tested, and you know, I've tested most of the metal cases out there. The other really cool thing that's something to highlight is the side over here. So if you guys see that, there's a mirror panel, right, and it's covered with a clear panel, and you'll also see a cutout. That's a really nice touch. So if you have like LEDs or something, you can actually have it shine through the side of the case, kind of like the Quamba Obsidian. As far as size, I know it's kind of hard with the scale, but I have a trusty Mad Catz TE right over here, so I'll layer it right on top just so you guys can see. If I put it edge to edge over here, you'll see there's about 1.5 inches more space on this side, so it's a little bit wider, but very similar as far as overall size to your typical fight stick, such as a Mad Catz TE. So one of the coolest things about this case to me, and it kind of opens up a ton of possibilities, is this top portion over here. So here's why. The first thing is as far as aesthetics, you can use the acrylic over here to kind of continue your artwork from the main art all the way up to the top, so that's a really nice touch. The second thing is that there's a rectangle cutout for possibly a touchpad in the future, or maybe it's going to come shipped with a touchpad. Hard to tell. The only thing that's kind of conflicting that is there's no cutout for the acrylic for a touchpad, so that's up in the air. The other thing is that you'll see these stainless steel buttons on the right and left side of the top portion. It's a nice touch. They have a really nice firm press. Now, this will probably be served for your standard share, PS, and options, and maybe this one can be something like your touchpad or L3. But here's why I think this is interesting. They actually shipped me a maintain button. So what that means is that if I press it down, it remains down. If I hold it up, it remains up. Maybe it's a lock switch, maybe it's a mode of some sort that you can set it to, depending on what PCB you're using. Again, it's all up in the air. So that's something that's pretty interesting about this top panel. Now in the back panel, you're going to see 4 24mm holes for you guys to put additional buttons, switches, maybe a USB port, as well as a hole for a USB cable to run out of if you choose that option. Now, you guys are probably wondering, are they going to offer additional layouts, right? Well, yes, they are. The reason why I know that is because they actually ship me additional panels. So you'll see like the Sega 2-player, Namco Noir, right? Layouts that they offered me, and maybe they'll also include a all-button version, but it doesn't seem like that's too difficult to do. This also opens up, which is a really nice touch. So if I do that, you're going to see these really heavy-duty hinges that are supporting it. It does take a little bit of force to open. It's not going to pop out while you're playing. They're really secure. Mounting plate over here for your average joystick. A little bit of some supports over here for maybe additional things, maybe like PCBs. And you're also going to see support panels for the internal structure, maybe PCB mounts, and a little support panel over here to run some cable through. Wiring over here for those stainless steel buttons on top, so you can connect those rather easily to your auxiliary portions. And it's a really nice touch. There's probably some space for your cable. A little bit tight on space on the corners here because of the hinge system. You'll probably just get a little bit of the space right on the bottom edge here, but I would be very cautious because these are really heavy duty. They'll probably break whatever you put in there. So I would say this portion is not really usable. The frame on here is that same material of steel that's found on most of this case, and probably adds a little bit of the weight to it as well. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to wire this up today, but the FightstickAsia team did send me an example of what this can look like. It's a really cool Bruce Lee art that kind of runs from top to bottom, as well as having some LEDs installed so you can see how the sides kind of glow. So it's a nice example of what can be done with this particular case. So what do you guys think? Do you think these guys should put it out as its own premium fight stick to compete with everything else that's out there? Do you think it should kind of stay in that DIY space for all the modders and builders out there? You know, what are your current thoughts on the aesthetics, the layout, the materials used? You know, if you have any additional features you guys want to see, if you have any thoughts on the pricing, for instance, as far as it being a full stick versus a DIY stick, you know, leave it all in the comments below. I'm sure the FightstickAsia Asia crew would love all the feedback and input. This has been the FightstickAsia Asia Premium Case Prototype First Look. You seen it here first. Your boy jonyfraze signing out. Just want to thank all of my new subscribers out there. Hit that sub button, give me the thumbs up if you're feeling my content. Until next time, catch you later. Peace.